Hi everyone, it is me, Sailor Moon here, Serena here, and me, Sailor Pluto, Sailor Underworld Trista here. And today we're going to talk about the SOS team, the Save Our Sailors team, or Keep Our Sailors team, since the word save is a Latinish Frenchish borrowed word. The English word would be keep. Now, this team is either got love or hate in the Sailor Moon followership. Now, they mostly got hate, and sadly, it wasn't needed. Now, as you know, these folks were the ones that, amped up after all their hard work to get USA and Cartoon to take up Sailor Moon after UPN and WB were done with Sailor Moon. Now, this was back when the interweb was still in its early days, and very few folks had a reckoner at home. At this time, reckoners were worth a lot. And they still are worth a lot, but they were worth a lot than they are now, and very few folks had a reckoner at their house. So most folks either had it at work or at Learn or a book house or whatever. Now, the SOS team made a website for folks who wanted to keep Sailor Moon going, and they could go on there and put their name and everything in there. They also had a way to, they could mail things, send things out to folks if they didn't have a reckoner. And a lot of these folks, that's what they would do. But it also wasn't only this. They also said that they would buy Pop-Tarts. Yeah, Kellogg's Pop-Tarts was one of the, or was it General Mills? I don't know. Anyway, they were one of the backers who were buying showing time on UPN and WB at the time that they had Sailor Moon. And they thought if they bought a lot of these, that enough income would go to, I guess, General Mills, or Main Mills, and they would work to back the show. And it took some work. But all their hard work did yield off, and they did get USA and then Cartoon to pick up Sailor Moon. But they got a lot of hate for doing it. You might ask yourself, how did the SOS team get a lot of hate from the Sailor Moon followership? Since they helped get Sailor Moon on USA and Cartoon. Well, you want to say something? Well, you see, Sailor Moon, Serena, why a lot of folks in the Sailor Moon followership hated SOS folks is that they wanted to help get the Deke Sailor Moon on USA and Cartoon, because at the time that was the only English Sailor Moon you had. This was before Pioneer and Cloverway would get their rights to work with Sailor Moon. It was before Viz would get the rights to work with Sailor Moon. And these folks hated that Sailor Moon. The folks who were lucky enough to have either looked it up at Learn or at a book house or wherever they went to or they were lucky and they had their own reckoner and looked up, looked up everything that Deke had shifted and everything that Deke kept in and what Deke took out, and they got a hatred over it. So they hated SOS for getting the Deke Sailor Moon back on. I don't know why they would do that. Did they think they were going to get another take on Sailor Moon? And keep in mind, this was before Pioneer and Cloverway and Viz get the rights to work with it. So, but the SOS folks felt that, yes, there were a lot of things about the Deke Sailor Moon that a lot of folks didn't like, but at the time it was the only English take on Sailor Moon there was. And with SOS and their website backing and backing up Kellogg's, I guess, or General Mills or Main Mills, and also helping to back up USA and Cartoon to get them to take on Sailor Moon, and it worked. Now the SOS team are no longer around anymore. They don't even think the website isn't around anymore, because that website was made in between 95 while, and I hardly doubt, highly unlikely that the website's still around. Now a lot of folks might say, did SOS have anything to do with with Pioneer, with Cloverway and Pioneer, Sailor Moon? Did they have anything to do with Cartoon picking Sailor Moon up for the 3-diff and the 2-diff the 3-diff and the 4-diff following? Well, I don't know if they did or did not, to be honest with you. And if they did, good for them. And then by 2003 YL, that was when the deal ended. That's when Pioneer, Cloverway both ended their deal with Sailor Moon, and SOS couldn't really do anything to get Sailor Stars up. And nowadays you got the Viz Sailor Moon out there, and that was a Sailor Moon that a lot of folks thought they should have gotten back in the day if they were in a settled land, a 4-1 Reichs, I guess. But the SOS team really did not have to get hated by the Sailor Moon followership for them putting in all the hard work to get, USA and Cartoon to take up the Deep Sailor Moon after UPN and WB were done with it. So, yeah. Now, to be honest with you, I think that the SOS team should not have gotten any hate from the Sailor Moon followership, because if it was not for them, then USA and Cartoon have not picked up Sailor Moon. No one would have gotten to see all the 2-diff followings of the first following and a full 2-diff following of Sailor Moon. And if it wasn't for that, I don't really think that Pioneer or Cloverway would have worked with Sailor Moon, and Cartoon have not picked Sailor Moon up for the 3-diff and the 3-diff and the 4th following if it wasn't for SOS, getting getting USA and Cartoon to pick up Sailor Moon. The truth is that if it wasn't for SOS, I don't think USA would have picked up Sailor Moon, and I don't think Cartoon would have picked up Sailor Moon if it wasn't for the SOS team with their hard work. Well, you're right, Trista. You're right, Sailor Pluto, Sailor Underworld. The SOS team had got love and hate in the Sailor Moon followership, which is sad, because you would think that there wouldn't be. You would think that folks would have had onlook for them and been happy that, that after UPN and WB dropped Sailor Moon due to bad looking and watch time, you would think they'd be happy that they got USA and Cartoon to pick up Sailor Moon. Or get YTV, the Furlong Sailor Moon, I guess, if you were in a settled land. But anyway, it is what it is. Save our sailors or keep our sailors. They're no longer around anymore. And I don't really think they had anything to do with Viz getting the rights to Sailor Moon. I don't really think they had anything to do with, Hulu or Netflix getting the rights to Sailor Moon, or any of the other websites getting the rights to Sailor Moon, to be honest with you. So let me know what you think about them. Were you happy that they worked hard and that their hard work yielded off, and that they got USA and Cartoon to take up Sailor Moon after UPN and WB were done with it? Let me know what you think about that, and I'll see you later.